Hey, so today we're going to talk about how to hire a personal trainer. There are definitely helpful tricks to help you get the best return on your investment. And yes, hiring a personal trainer is an investment. So here we go. And this can pertain to coaches as well. So kind of think of like a wellness coach or any sort of like sports team that you're going to be thinking about joining or doing. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is do your homework, meaning that research what's available in the area. If you're already part of a gym, those gyms probably offer personal training services or coaching services, and they're going to be for a certain price. And it's important to make sure that you look around and research other services in the area that also align with your needs. And so there could be other stuff that you just have no idea about until you do your homework. And it's really important that you start there. When you hire a trainer or a coach, you are almost hiring an employee to some extent. They are working for you. And so it is something that if you're not getting a benefit from as an employer, that employee is losing you money. And that's never a good thing. So when you conduct an interview with a trainer or coach, remember, you are the boss. And so it's important to treat it like an interview. When I went away from franchise gyms and went on my own for in-home personal training, I was not really used to going through the interview process, getting called for a consultation, people that are kind of what I call kicking tires, just kind of seeing what's out there. They would express, you are a third trainer, you are our fifth trainer that we're talking to. Is that true that I was that third or fifth one? Or are they just saying that to make a competitive kind of market within that interview? But yeah, some of my clients have interviewed many trainers before me. I'm sure after me if they didn't go with me as well. And so here are some things to conduct an interview with your trainer or coach so you get a better idea if that's a perfect fit or a good fit for you. So the first thing is asking about their history with training or personal experience. So training other people professionally, a lot of trainers or coaches do it not really professionally beforehand to get experience, kind of training people or helping friends. And then they're like, man, I really like this, helping people improve their lifestyles. And so you have to separate the what you do professionally and how that affects you with your personal experience. So if you actually have a background in athletics or some sort of practice what you preach kind of mentality. If you're hiring a trainer that does nothing of what they're talking about, it's really hard for them to relate going through that process. And so those are some kind of red flags to kind of, in my mind, be like, okay, you're not really doing the things you're saying, so why am I going to believe you? Another thing, especially nowadays, certificates are really easy to come by. You can get a personal training certificate relatively cheap. I'm not saying that they're hard to get or easy to get. There's different levels, but it's important to have some sort of professional, credible certificate along with coaching or training or whatever their service may be, just so they have something to give them an outline what to work with. Also, if they have some sort of more formal education, a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, a master's degree, in my opinion, when it came to fitness, I have an associate's degree in exercise science, and I have a health and wellness management, so more of a corporate wellness degree for my bachelor's degree. And the reason I didn't take that to that 4-year step is because you learn a little bit more information with exercise science, but honestly, when it came down to it, I'll be honest, the pay was the same. So I could go to school for 2 more years to get paid the same as with a 2-year degree with a certificate. And so I went to more of a corporate environment so I could learn how to affect somebody through the workplace or more people through the workplace rather than just one person at a time. Another thing is to ask their specialty. And this kind of can correlate with their personal experience or their training history, what they specialize in. And this can change throughout their lifestyle. When I first started, I was a swimmer, so I was very high intensity interval training. I was very honestly not very like a bodybuilding, muscle building kind of technique. And then as I got my certifications and educations and away from that swimming, it completely flip-flopped. And so having that background with something that's very high level, like a racing competition kind of world, and then more into like a bodybuilding kind of sense, I got a little bit of both worlds. And so it's really important that you ask their specialty, and just to make sure that they have experience or they're in pursuit or have been in pursuit of something that is common with you. The next thing is to ask about their schedule or flexibility. So a trainer has select hours throughout the week that they can train. And it's important that your hours match up with theirs, or necessarily their hours match up with yours. Because you're going to want to exercise when it's most convenient to you. And if you're trying to make your schedule fit around a trainer or a coach, the likelihood of you sticking with that is really hard, because you have to maneuver so many components of your lifestyle just so you can exercise. And in my opinion, that's a really big barrier. So make sure that that schedule and flexibility, if you're seeing them 1 time a week, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, it just really aligns with your schedule, just to create progression and adherence to, different workouts as well as your goals. And so at the end of all this, you're going to ask, like, how can you help me with my goals? And so, meaning that the client is going to say that. And so then the trainer will say, I can help with this, this, and this many times per week. I think you should do this. I think you should do this. These are some of my concerns. And trainers will be, or coaches will be very on their answers. For me, I'm pretty blunt. I've been called not really called an a-hole, but I would say a majority of my answers are very blunt and a-hole-like. Meaning, I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm not there to win your approval. I'm not there to sugarcoat things. I'm going to tell you the risk factors, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, how I think you could help, and what are some beneficial ways that we could get to those goals in a healthy and I'll just tell you as fast as we can in a healthy way, rather than saying, yes, we can lose 100 pounds in 12 weeks, or we can take these drastic steps, immediately, and you're going to get the results you want really, really fast. And so you're going to have to decide if what they're telling you is truth, false, and if that aligns with what you're willing to do. And I'll tell you, most times as a trainer or coach, a lot of the stuff I'm going to tell you to do is stuff that you don't want to do, because that's where the most growth is going to happen. And if it's something that you do want to do, you probably would have done it already to some extent. And the last few things here are the costs and the time frame. And so these are some really big, important factors. If you work for a franchise gym as a trainer or coach, you are locked in at certain prices. And the main reason I went solo or doing stuff on my own is because I'm willing to work with clients and say, hey, I want to grow with you. And if you're willing to grow with me, I'll work with you on pricing, on cancellations. And we're really going to focus on that long term. And a lot of people are turned off about those high prices, or, hey, I need 3 months up in front just to show your commitment. And that right there is a big deterrent for people. So for those people kind of kicking tires, I explain that, I am pretty lenient on cancellations. As long as they don't get out of hand, they shouldn't be a problem. But the cost thing as well. So if I'm seeing a client for a year, 2 years, and they want to adjust price in a way. I'm willing to compensate for that. But if they're only want to do it for the short term, if they want those like really, really fast results, that's when that price is going to be a little bit more fixed to some extent, because our relationship is going to be very short. And if you do fitness, fitness isn't a very short thing. And so that time frame is really important to look at. And so when I first start billing clients, it's only 1 month at a time. And so, or 2 weeks at a time, just to kind of get a base or a sense of, hey, is this going to work out, almost like a trial run. And so it's really important to take things slow, just because that's a relationship that you're going to build with your coach and trainer, and you don't want to rush into it or, be sucked in. Now I'm in here for 3 months with this person, and after 2 weeks, I really don't think it's going to work out. And so you can have those conversations with your coach or trainer and try to get your money back, but it's very, very hard. And so it's very important to take slow steps. And then after all that conversation is done, when can you start? And I'll tell you that after I listen to, what you're looking for, I'll tell you, what you need, things that we could do. I write all this stuff down and I kind of bring it back home and I kind of think about it, about like, a larger perspective of where we can take things, and then kind of write out a rough outline. And also I do have like a very rough price of what that start date would look like, depending on your needs and times and the availability and everything. But that start date is really important. And so that is a time frame, just like an interview, of when you expect to hear back from an employer or an employee about when they would start that job. And so those are some tips and some helpful tricks to kind of help align yourself to get in a relationship, a friend, coaching relationship, trainer relationship, to make sure that you're getting the best return on your investment. And it is an investment. Remember that you are the boss, they are the employee. If you're not getting a benefit, it is a waste of your money, it is a waste of your time. So I hope this helps, and have a good rest of your day.